stay there. They don't want to get off of it. It needs to be really comfortable for them, while also not making them stay so long that which leads to just losing business. What I'm covering is not related to any of that. I just wanted to give you an overview on designing. I am actually giving you maybe a small session on UI UX development. And as Abdul Saad said, UI UX stands for user interface and user experience designing. So user experience is okay. Let me start by giving you an example. You just start writing a program. Let's say, I'm guessing almost everyone here has had some experience with code. Anyone who hasn't? Okay. So let's just consider a simple addition, a program that does addition. You just start with the standard statements, program it, and when you actually run the program, it just opens a window, it opens a command line, and takes inputs from the user. Would you prefer it if it's just a string of text that said, please enter your 2 numbers, and you just have to type it on enter? Or would you prefer that it had an interface, that it had 2 boxes in which you could enter your 2 numbers and a button you could press to actually find out the final value? That actually drastically changes how the user interacts with it, right? Because if you just give our program with no UI and just a command line to some user, they won't know how to. They would input a number, they would hit enter, and sometimes people might find it difficult. But when we add a UI to it, there are 2 boxes there. In this example, there are 2 boxes there, and probably will have an addition symbol in between it. And that kind of signifies that you have to enter 2 numbers. And there might be another button that actually gives you the value, or you could actually automatically, that's up to the programmer. That's how a UI makes it mostly easier for a user to interact with something. Because it doesn't matter if you're really good at programming or making apps. What matters much more than, in my consideration, what I think is that if you're really good at backend development and making apps, you kind of have it set for you. But without a good UI, there is nothing you can do about it, because the user does not understand what they must go through or what they must do. And if you can't convey it properly to them, there is no use in you building an app or a website which has really good functionality, but looks like crap. And today I'm not actually covering Figma. I'm just giving you an overview of what designing is and how you could actually get into it and all that stuff. And I'm thinking of starting Figma tomorrow. So yeah. Let's get into the tools that we would actually be using. And just some major tools that I like to use. So I think everyone knows about Figma, because in the group they asked you to install Figma. And yeah, I primarily work in Figma just because it's actually pretty easy to learn. It has a really linear difficulty curve. You don't have to put that much effort to start learning Figma, but once you get into it, you really have to work for it. That's basically true for every single designing software out there. So I'm just loading up some examples. Just wait a sec. Yeah. What I've thought Figma does good is its collaboration, because this is collaborative capabilities. For example, if more than one person can work in a single project in Figma. So if you're working in teams, Figma is a really good option, and it's actually present in almost all UI designing softwares now, because it's actually proven to be true that two heads are better than one. So if you have someone to discuss your UI with or develop upon it, and just someone who, like, you could actually be talking to someone who knows nothing about design, and just they might still have a view into what they feel the UI should be like, because that person could be be a stand-in for an end user. You could use them as a stand-in for an end user and get their opinions and change upon it. Figma makes it easier. Figma and all cloud-based collaborative apps make it easier because you get that feedback live, and you actually get to work with multiple people live. Second one I actually primarily depend on is Framer. It's I'm really sorry, I'm actually pretty tired. Okay. Figma is actually oriented more towards designing and creating beautiful UIs, the posters, all of that stuff. What it lacks is, and I don't think it lacks much, but it actually goes behind. Some apps actually exceed it when you consider the prototyping section. Prototyping is just a method of actually adding animations or interactive elements into your UI, just so you can have a working prototype to show people, instead of just making them look like random screenshots. You could actually build something that works and people can interact. Prototyping, Figma is really good in prototyping, but as I said, it's not that good. Kind of limited when you think about it, but you can actually do really great stuff with it. When it comes to prototyping, I prefer Framer. It's pretty similar to Figma, but it's more prototyping oriented than design oriented, because again, it's meant to make apps. Framer is just dedicated to making prototyping. It has a designing UI, but it's not as good as you think it is. It just exists, and it's let's say subpar. That's what I've thought. Okay, what's next? I've talked about Figma, then there's Framer. Now, okay, coming to the next one is Adobe XD. Adobe XD was where I actually started my journey, mostly because I was really into the Adobe ecosystem, and all of Adobe's things it blew my mind away. And just the fact that everything could just work together without giving much effort was a really good point. But the demerit of it was that it was actually paid. I had to sell my house to get 2-month subscription, so I actually gave up. Okay, Abdul, what is prototype? Okay, well, prototype in our case in UI UX designing, a prototype is just an interactive version of your UI. It does not have any backend things. You can, it does not technically work. If you make a prototype for, let's say, the Google search engine, you would be able to type things, but it won't return anything that's actually there, because you have to. There are predetermined frames. It's a model. Yeah, it's kind of like a working model, but not. I'll actually show it to you when we actually go into prototyping. You'll understand it better. Again, I'm sorry, I'm really bad at conveying stuff. Where were we? Where was I? Forgot. Yeah, Adobe. And XD does have the same benefits that all Adobe products have. You could actually make a icon in Adobe Illustrator and bring it straight to XD. Make an UI in XD and bring it to Photoshop. Just so you could make a mock-up or send it to Cinema 4D to change it into a 3D mock-up. But what it lacks is that the free plan of XD is limited, because you only get a limited amount of cloud storage, and the collaborative things are actually pretty behind for XD too. Then for all you macOS users, there is Sketch. Sketch is mostly focused on iOS and macOS development, but it can actually make all of things, but it only has a native app for macOS. Everything else is actually run on the web. And not used Sketch extensively, but from what I've experienced, I still go back to Figma just because, you know, it just works. And the benefit of all of these apps, apart from Adobe XD, is that you just need a web browser to run it. Any web browser can work, and any semi-modern web browser. You know, you can't expect Figma to run an Internet Explorer 5. It's just too old at this point. So both Figma, Figma, and Sketch all run in your web browser. You don't even need a dedicated app. I just prefer the dedicated app just because it has more shortcuts and it kind of speeds up your workflow. But it's actually, like, considering portability, it's actually pretty easy to bring your projects around. XD only has a desktop app. I don't think XD has a web app yet. Wait, let me check just to make sure. I'm not wrong. So if I say something wrong in between all of this, you're free to correct me. Just don't, you know, keep listening to my stupidity. Just turn on your mic and tell me if I'm wrong, or you could type it in chat. I should know, actually. I'm actually getting the tabs ready. I need to make sure what all I need to present. I just got back from college. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I'm actually about to present my screen. Wait. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. So this is Figma. This is where it starts. Sorry about the web app. Yeah. This is just the basic, what Figma looks like when you start it up. You won't have all these things in the middle because these are just my recents. There's something I might have. Yes. This is how a project would look when you open it. I'm so sorry again. I think my internet is actually acting up. Let me just switch to the window thing. Let me just present my window. I think it's actually lagging behind because I'm recording my whole screen. Yes. I think I'm not presenting. Okay, what do you guys see now? Okay, it's Figma. Do you guys see Figma? Okay. So this is what a Figma workspace looks like when you the homepage of Figma. Let's say, just have to go to figma.com, and for everyone who hasn't created an account yet, just go to figma.com, hit sign up, and that's just it. You have an account, and you will actually get access to all of this. And just get a draft. This is just what the basic UI looks like when you start any project. Again, I'm not gonna go into Figma yet. Just giving you an overview of what we'll be working with for the following days, and just giving an overview of what designing is. I'm repeating it because I think I'm starting to go insane, but I'm not sure about it. So that's Figma. Then this is Framer. As you can see, it actually kind of looks similar to Figma. I have a project open. This is just the sample project of the tutorial project that Framer has. I just use it as a default because, again, to be honest, I'm just too lazy. Yeah. The sample project provided by Framer is actually pretty good to actually get into it. Just the basics of it. I would recommend that you actually rely on YouTube or something else to actually learn Framer. I just got started with Framer. It's been about 2 months since I started with it, and Yeah, YouTube is actually your friend when it comes to all of this because there are a lot of good resources on it. Okay, coming back to our topic. So this is Framer. Benefit Framer has over Figma is better prototyping and built-in dark mode, because let's just agree that light mode on apps is just bad. It's actually been, we should actually reject apps that actually have a light mode. You don't want your eyes to actually scream out loud when you start watching a movie or start working on a project. Then we are coming to Adobe XD. This is just the homepage of XD. I don't have it downloaded. I used to have it, but I uninstalled it. So sorry, I did not see this bootcamp coming. You could actually create an Adobe account and just start with XD. If you have previous experience with any Adobe products, you will actually feel right at home with it. Or else, if you have experience with Figma and designing apps, mostly all shortcuts are the same. And yeah, it's pretty easy to start. Then we come to Sketch, which I did not sign in. I love myself for that, making me sign in. I think that's my account. Is it my account? Oh, that was my account. Okay, so yeah, this is what not only for the poor. XD is actually free. Like some features might be locked behind, so it's like the cloud collaboration with a larger number of participants and most other comfort features, but all the basics are still there. You can't actually crack Adobe XD. It's mostly a cloud-based application. If you crack it, you can't sync it to Adobe Cloud or send it to people or carry it around. That's the whole point of having a UI design software on the internet. You can actually crack Photoshop. Don't tell me I told you so. I told you to do it. I don't want to be jailed. Not again. I'm sorry, that was a joke. That was a really bad joke. Okay. So this is Sketch. I don't know how to use Sketch. I think it's actually pretty familiar to XD, I guess. That was actually pretty easy. Yeah. Yeah. Wait, Sketch has a trial? Okay, Sketch is apparently on trial. So that's it for Sketch. I'm sorry, I don't know much about Sketch. I'm not an, Apple guy, more of an Android and Windows kind of guy, as you may have not noticed. Plus, Apple is for rich people. I'm just too poor to afford Apple. Okay. So I just gave you an overview. Well then, thank you for actually being pretty active. I wish more of you, just openly talked. I want this to be more of a conversation rather than a one-way class. I don't want this to be like a class. I hate classes even in college. Again, please don't tell anyone that I told you all of this. Cool. Okay. Trusting you with all of this. Okay. Trying to chill here. Pretty nervous because this is the first time I had a class with more than 100 participants. Let me just load up some more stuff. Oh no. Should have actually prepared this earlier. A smart person would do that. So when you actually get into designing, the first initial few months, you'll have so many ideas that you don't know what to do with them. That you'll just make stuff left, right, and center. And after that, how is Google working? Think because it's Google. That's just it. Anyway, going back to topic. For the first few months, you'll be super active and really into it. Yeah, designers are lazy. I'm talking from experience. we are the laziest bunch of people out there. But when we do start working, we kind of don't stop until we finish it. That's a benefit of being a designer. But getting ideas when you are a designer is pretty hard, because at this point in time, getting an original idea is practically impossible, because there is always someone else who did it before you. So why not just knock off of it? I mean, get inspired. In quotes, don't copy stuff, please. You might get into trouble for it. Okay. So in the situations where you lose, all ideas, you don't have any inspiration, you just dread on starting your designing career, you have those 5 projects pending, and you just want to stop. What you want to do is, okay, where is my Google Meet? I actually lost something. I'm so sorry. I might have misplaced a few Chrome tabs. Hey, there are supposed to be 3 windows and I only see 2. Where is my other window? Okay, found it. I'm sorry, I'm being stupid. I'm just, naturally like this. And I apologize a lot too. Okay, coming back. This is Behance or Behance. Don't know how it's pronounced. Whatever you want to say. This is where designers, interact with each other. It's like Instagram or just any social media, but this is actually exclusive for designers. It's not exclusive. Anyone could hop on, make an account, and start putting random stuff. But it is actually more oriented towards designers. This is just my homepage of Behance. How do you actually pronounce Behance or Behance? Oh, I have dribble open. Shoot. Come to dribble later. How do you pronounce Behance or Behance? Anyone?
I just pronounce it as Behance.
And I'm gonna go with Behance too. Going to Behance. You could just keep scrolling days upon days, and you'll still never run out of content. You'll have a lot of inspiration here, and you were just looking for something. What if I wanted to make, a delivery app? Just could search for delivery, and I've already got a lot of artists who actually got the idea and made really good designs. I could actually base my design off of them, or get inspiration from multiple and make a new design. Uh, Original designs are usually much better than inspired ones, because it tends to have a fresh view on it. It's better to have a fresh view on something than to go with what everyone else does. So yeah, this is Behance. So what I want, I can tell that later. I actually skip, I think, 5 different steps there. This is for all kinds of designers, artists, UI, UX designers, engineers, and all of that. It covers everything. So coming to Dribble, this is actually more focused on UI and UX designing. Dribble, I like Behance, sorry, I keep doing that, is focused on artists, but the ones that actually make UIs. Wait, did I just say that? Never mind. Anyway, coming back to our topic. I say that too much. And just by scrolling, you can see just by the homepage that is actually, there, it's riddled with apps and web pages. This is pretty good when you're actually starting off your work on an app or something. And Behance is better when you're just, going for posters and all that stuff. Until this point, is there anyone who has any doubts, or anyone who want to add something to what I said? Nobody. Seriously, how does 130 people here? Nobody has a doubt. How did my internet just cut off? You could even put it in the chat. I'm actually scared that my internet went out. Okay, my internet's still on. Good. Okay, cool. So I'm guessing nobody has any doubts. You just feel free. Don't consider this some random class. It makes you feel better. I'm still a second year engineering student. I'm not even a full time. I don't even have a full time job. I'm like most of you. Anyone? I mean, the last class I took with like 20 people had so many doubts that I like the class got extended for a while. But I guess the 130 people here have no doubts. Okay, that is the way to put it. Why should we use Figma? Okay. I never said that you should use Figma. I just prefer Figma because it's much easier for me. You could use anything you want. Just that Figma is kind of, it's Figma framework covers the prototyping stuff. Adobe does the whole cloud sharing stuff really well. Sketch does the whole UI thing well. NetBeans, what the hell is NetBeans? I'm so sorry. Not into development much. Let me just Google it. Okay, let me continue off that Figma. The reason I use Figma is that Figma just works. You don't have to, it works anywhere, everywhere, and it actually has a perfect balance of a really great UI design experience and a really awesome prototyping experience. And NetBeans and Figma. Okay. The thing is, I'm not a developer. I have no idea. The only languages I know are C and C++. That too only because I learned them in 10th and 12th grade. You want to see some of my works? Okay. I don't know how much you like. I could show you the first ever UI I did. I just got, just got really inspired by this 2-day class and just did it. I think it was a Tinkerhub one. It was last year and it was, I think Tinkerhub was part of Tinkerhub's learning program. Learn from home, yeah. I actually enrolled for the Tinkerhub Learn from Home program and I actually learned from it. And non-creative people, why not? Because there is nothing stopping you from being a designer. And I honestly think there are not many quote unquote non-creative people, because the whole point of being human is that you ask questions. And when you do ask questions, you tend to assume answers, And when you do assume answers, you can tend to get a bit creative. It does not matter what you're looking at or what field you're in. Humans tend to be really creative with their solutions. And that's why I actually showed you Behance and Dribble, because there are people who tend to be more creative than others, and they have, you could take inspiration from them. There is no limit to how much you could improve yourself, and that actually applies in designing. Even if you start and you get really good at it, there is always room to improve. And even if you think you can't do it, you're just straight up wrong. You can. You just don't believe in yourself enough. This became a philosophy class. I'm sorry. Okay, going. Okay, what was it? Yeah, my works. I'll just show you what I did first. A window. Where is Figma? Okay, can you guys see my Figma workspace? Yeah, okay. Kishore, I'll actually tell you about all the color things a bit later, okay? There is a whole lot of things to know about colors and color theory. If we have time left after today, I'll actually explain a bit about it. Where is that? Okay. show you the app UI. I hope this loads in, because with my trash internet, I don't think it will. Oh, it did. Okay, that's actually pretty good. This is just looking back at it. This is actually pretty bad. A lot of things about it are pretty bad, but this is what I did in about a week's time, and does not impress, if you know what I mean. I'll just hit play. Just show you what I did. My internet is dying a bit. Yes. Is there any necessary to know any programming language? Not really. Again, I don't do programming. Just basics of C and C++ got me here, and I am studying computer science engineering. I don't even understand Java. Okay, Harry, there are plugins for Figma. Figma community actually helps you with a lot of things, but I really don't recommend you actually straight up converting your design into code, because it just doesn't work that way. You can get the CSS files, but I've tried it. I've tried designing a website with Figma and exporting it as HTML and stuff. It does not work. I would recommend that you actually get the style sheets from Figma and work on everything else yourself. And if I even don't know, it's fine. You don't need any programming background. UI UX is more arts and entertainment than programming and engineering. There are parts of engineering too, but you don't actually need any experience in code. Can you explain how inspiration is different from copying? Okay. How is that name familiar? Okay. Inspiration. Okay, getting inspired actually means. Have you ever noticed how familiar Telegram and WhatsApp look? So the thing is, both have, almost all chat apps have the same UI. But the thing is, there are slight differences that actually make them stand out. That differentiates, that actually separates their design from the other. If you look at Instagram, the chat UI there looks much different than the one in WhatsApp, because with Instagram you actually can. I think they rolled it out recently. You can actually have custom themes for chats. You can actually group chats much differently than WhatsApp. It depends on what you do with the UI you have. Copying is just straight up making a replica and giving it to someone. There is no quote unquote, there is not much talent involved. You just need to be good at using the application, and that's it. And the question is that clear? I think I made it clear. I'm not, again, I'm really bad at conversations. Going back, I think it's not loading. I'm so sorry. Thought it loaded in the background. Did it load? Did it load? It did not. Oh, this is just a basic one. You could hit, you just both has dark mode and light mode. You could sign up. If you log in, you'll just get a usual Instagram looking feed. There's your messages, there's your profile. What else could you tap on? Okay, I can't go back. There's a search function. The profile thing, did I implement anything? Oh, I have settings there, and you can actually change themes, which is buggy, apparently. And you can log out. There's a pop. Oh my god, I was really good at this. How did I get so bad? Oh, yeah, it's back. Can you still open? Oh, thank you. That's a really bare bones design, and it's. I wouldn't say inspired. I just ripped it off of Assassin's Creed. I'm actually really into the franchise. Yes, and when I was designing it, I was actually working through Assassin's Creed Black Flag, so just threw it in. There are a lot of Assassin's Creed Easter eggs in it. Okay. Yeah, okay, Abhishek. See, there is another Assassin's Creed fan there. This is just a cover page that I made to actually post it in my Behance. I think it's still up. Might be I might have forgot to take it down. It's still there. Still okay. That's the only thing there. I need to post more. Okay, so anyway, now that you've seen my first ever design, this just shows I did not know how. Like I was just a video editor and I was really into visual effects, 3D animation, and all that stuff. This was the first experience I've had with, you know, making a UI and all of that. What are you looking at? Okay, never mind. That's work stuff. And this was the first thing I did when I got into it. That just tells you how much you could, do. And if it makes you feel better, I was really bad at C programming and C++ back then. I just learned it later. Do we get the fonts you use immediately? Okay, that is just Montserrat, I think. Montserrat. With Figma, you actually get access to all of Google's font library. You go to fonts.google.com. Fonts. Let me just show it to you. Where is it? Yeah. Okay. There are about there are 1,284 different fonts in Google's library in multiple different languages too. And Figma actually has all of those built in. You don't have to install there. You can actually use your system fonts on it. I have a few fonts downloaded and I use them primarily, but Google's font library is more than enough if you're starting, just getting started. And if you have the money to blow it on, okay, I'll just send you the name. I don't have the font file. Montserrat. I think that's the correct spelling. I think, not sure. The whole font library is there for Figma, and you can actually use custom fonts. You can install it on your PC, and Figma will detect it. It might require a restart. Figma, not your PC. You don't need to restart your PC for Figma to find the fonts. I've done that. I regret it. Yeah. And if you get into it really deep, and if you have the money to spend, I actually advise that you buy a really good font. Don't just buy a whole bunch of fonts that you will never use. Just buy one or two really good fonts that you will use over and over again. The cleanest ones you can find. I hate the whole freaking circles and decoration thing with where the T's end goes via the all other letters. Just too much. Minimalism is better. I might have gone on a rant. Okay. Okay. Coming back to Kishore's question about colors. You too. I think I know you. I do know you. Okay. Are you the same guy? Yes, you are the same guy. Okay, coming back to the color question about colors. It's me, Arya. Yes, I know. I noticed. See, I did not forget you. I have really good memory. I'd like to think that I do. Yes, back to colors. In case you actually run out of colors to work with and you have no idea what colors to go with, just go to coolors.co. COOLORS.co. I'll send you the link. Where is Google Meet? I can't find the tab. How many tabs? So many. Coolors.co. This is what I use, but there are lots of color palette generators. Just hit start a generator and it makes a color palette for you to work with. Trash internet. Today was the day. Yeah, this is the color palette that actually Coolors gave me. I could just hit spacebar and I have a new palette. I don't need it. I don't like these colors. I can hit spacebar. A selection of blues. Don't like this. I could just hit spacebar and just infinitely keep generating color palettes for me. I really want black to be in my design. So I'll just go to 00000, which is the hex code for black. And I'll just hit the one lock button there. That way, that color is locked. It won't change. And all the rest four colors will be complementary to the first one. You could add more colors, remove colors. You can view different shades of colors. It has so many features. And you could lock multiple colors because why wouldn't you want to lock multiple colors? You have black in it, there definitely should be white or some light color that you like. That's just my opinion. Please don't listen to me while designing. I'm really bad at it while I'm alone. Okay, yeah, and you could swap it. I don't know what this doesn't have much function, but yeah, and you actually get the names of all colors. There are really awesome. They have really good names: yellow, green, Crayola, tumbleweed, brilliant rose, French violet. What does English violet look like? Never mind. You could export the palette into, you could get the URL, export as a PDF and as an image with a CSS sheet, and vector as a vector code you can embed it in your site. And if you just check the URL, you would notice that it's actually the hex codes of all the colors that are in there. The more colors you add, the more hex codes it adds to the URL. You just need the URL to actually have the colors with you. So that cool. Why isn't anyone talking? I actually get really scared thinking that I actually lost connection. If it would be really good if you guys could, at least scream through your mics. Okay, Jimmy, you actually found English Violet. Nice. Thank you. I was really curious. I want to check what it looks like. Where is screen? That screen. Sure, why not? Oh, cool. Where I want to see English Violet. I don't stop. That is a really good option. I don't know why I don't think of that. Again, I'm just, I'm just stupid when it comes to all of this. Oh, what does English Violet look like? Where is that's this dark purple? Wait, that's a different color. Never mind. Ah, that's dark. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Jim. You have helped me. It is. That way people suspect you less. You could actually get away with anything you want. Okay. So I would actually recommend that you start interacting with people in the group. The group is actually locked down to admins. If possible, you could actually DM each other or create a separate group if you want. Because if you work alone while designing, I don't think you would have much willpower to go through it. Sliding into deep. Okay, I'm actually giving you a chance to actually, no, I'm actually not being paid because I don't freelance yet. I actually volunteer a lot. I'm kind of start looking at getting a freelancing profile set up, but yeah, I'm just volunteering because college exists and I honestly don't have time for all of it. And it's UI UX designing is actually a really good field to get the money. You actually can make a lot of money from making one app. You just have to work your ass off for it. Yeah, build the cloud, you get paid. Exactly. You just have to have a really good portfolio, and you could take like 1 year to create a really freaking good UI, and you'll still get paid enough. You don't take 1 year. Please just finish it as soon as you can. I'll say stupid stuff all the time. Don't listen to me. I was saying something, right? I was I was distracted in the middle. What was he saying? Does anyone know what I was saying? Oh yeah, sliding into DMs. Thank you, Calvin. You could talk to each other and, if possible, just form pairs or three people. I don't know what triplets. What are three people called? Pair. I think quadruplets. I don't know. Just make into okay trio. Yes, that's the word I was searching for. Thank you. And get into groups, and if you make a UI, work with each other. Just discuss or talk about it. Work through it. It's 7:55. Okay, I'm actually supposed to close it down at 8. And before I stop, close it down and give you your first assignment of the day. Yay, assignment time. Don't worry, it's not going to be hard. No, please. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, man. I have to give you an assignment just because you said no. And because of the longer no, it's going to be a hard one just for you. Don't worry. I'm not, that kind of mentor. Am I a mentor? I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be easy. Don't worry. No, I have lab exams. My lab exams are tomorrow. Don't worry about it. This won't take you longer than 5 to 10 minutes. Easy. Okay. So, does anyone have any doubts till now? Okay, cool. And does anyone want to tell opinions about the class today, or ways I could improve? Maybe how to speak better to people or something? Do we get today's recording? Do we? I honestly don't know. Oh, thank you. That's a first. Thank you, Abhijit. You really made my day. Try to meet with video. Okay, I issue. Okay, there are recordings. The same when it comes to tracks. Good, cool. I really had plans to turn on my camera, but I'm really tired. Came back from college, hopped on straight on my laptop and started this. I have a really good background. You can Google background, dancing sticks and stuff. I even have a jungle. Yeah, face reveal tomorrow. If I'm not this tired, I might be back home sooner. If I am home sooner, yes, sure, face reveal. If not, do we have class on Saturday? Right? Today is a Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, Saturday. I don't have classes on Saturday. Face reveal on Saturday. Okay. Coming back to the session. The time everyone has been waiting for. Your assignment. What I want you to do is go ahead, make an account on Behance or Dribble or both. No one's stopping you. Make an account on both. Make 5 accounts. What you have to do is just scroll through it for a bit. Pick a UI that actually looks good to you. I would recommend that you don't pick the first one you see, because that would always be, the best one you've seen so far. The more you scroll, the better everything gets. Just scroll through the homepage, find a really good UI, put it in your mood board. A mood board is just where you save, all the designs you found, or just get the link and keep it with you. Okay, I'm not asking you to submit it or anything. I don't need proof that you actually did it. This would actually tie in with tomorrow's assignment. Yeah, you have 5 assignments. Yes, I am giving you all the time you need. Don't worry. Just keep the link with you and just find a way to go back to that UI. Okay? See, it's not that hard. Just have to spend 10 minutes on the internet. You already do. You can take time off of YouTube, put 10 minutes into Behance, you're done. Was that so hard? Okay, can you give a brief session on what coming day session will be? Okay, so I'm actually thinking of doing Figma, just the designing part of Figma tomorrow. I'll cover prototyping the next day and cover Framer. And on the fourth day, I will be actually working live like, with you people. I will send you a workspace link and I want you to work with me on a UI. Okay. So just go to Behance or Dribble, scroll through the homepage and find a UI that looks good and save the link or add it to your mood board. Just keep it saved somewhere. Okay. Is it clear? Okay. Okay. And the final day would be mostly for just, doubt clearing and things I've missed and all of that jazz. Okay. I think we're done for the day. Does anyone have anything to tell me or does anyone want to have a conversation? Okay, okay. Let me just type it in. Someone has actually raised their hands. Ooh. Okay, I'm actually scared of pronouncing your name. I think I might get it wrong. The hand has been lowered. Okay. I just send this assignment in chat. Program more on UI or UX. UX is what I'll be covering, and UI is just a small part of UX. I'm primarily focusing on teaching you how to work with these tools more than how to do a good UI, because that is mostly based on what you want. Oh, yeah, I just sent the same thing. Okay. Thank you, Ajit. Before we close down, anything? Nobody? Would you be more confident in talking if the recording was turned off? Because I really feel bad just because I'm the only one talking here.
Don't feel bad. You're actually doing a pretty good job.
Thank you. Thank you for turning on your mic. I will remember you forever.
That actually means a lot to me.
Totally not because I knew you before, knew you from before.
Yeah, I know.
Anyone else willing to speak? Or is the whole red recording button scaring you? Can we just stop recording? Just keep it out of, out of the books. Okay, cool.